especially after the panorama. The Panera bread, the panini breads.
Don't stop, baby, when we gon' start. Let me catch your vibe. Let's just take our time.
Hey you guys, what's up? It's Caylin and welcome to my corner. So for today's video, I'm going to be starting a brand new series and it's going to be called Thirsty Thursday. Now I wanted to incorporate this on my channel because I've seen a lot of other influencers doing it. They do a little story time, a little girl chat, a little moment, and I feel like we don't have any sit down videos where we can just talk to each other, communicate with each other, except for like get ready with me's and then my vlogs. But I feel like I will incorporate this new series. I'm going to be doing a brand new topic once a month. I'll be asking on my Instagram what y'all want to talk about, but this is the first ever Thirsty Thursday and I'm so excited to be doing this video with you guys. But before we get into this video, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up and turn on that notification bell so that you do not miss any of my videos in the future. Now let's go ahead and get into this tea, girl. Okay, now this wouldn't be a Thirsty Thursday video if I did not have anything to drink. So today I'm going to be sipping on this wine right here. I actually picked it up at Target today and as you can see I've already busted open the bottle. I already like it. So it is from the brand Sun Pop, I believe, and this flavor is strawberry Moscato wine with natural flavor. So that's what we sipping on today, girl. If you want to pick it up, it is at your local Target. The bottle was speaking to me. I just felt like this is what we needed for this first Thirsty Thursday. So girl, go ahead and get your wine, girl. Let's sit down, let's chat. I got mine right here ready to go. Let me go ahead and take a sip. As y'all can tell by the title, today's Thirsty Thursday isn't going to be super juicy, but I do get a lot of questions about living in Dallas, what it's like to live in Dallas, how I want to move to Dallas, what's it looking like. So I figured we could just talk about it today because everybody's moving to Dallas. It's starting to become a little bit overpopulated. So if you're interested in moving to Dallas, this is literally the perfect video for you because I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty. I got some facts, statistics, opinions, all that, and I'm gonna break it down into sections. So make sure that you check out the timestamps below if there's anything in particular that you want to hear about. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about me and how long I have been living in Dallas. So I'm originally, if you don't know, from Fort Worth, Texas. It is a big city that is about 45 minutes to an hour outside of Dallas. I live in Fort Worth, Texas basically pretty much all of my life. I went to college. I went to UNT, which is in Denton. It's about 45 minutes outside of Dallas as well. When I graduated, I got a job that was close to the Dallas Metroplex and I was like, girl, I need to move. So right now I currently live in Richardson. So one thing that you should know about Dallas is there are a lot of little like suburbs that are right outside of Dallas that people live in, just in case you don't want that city life. I live in Richardson because my job was based in Richardson, but I'm on the cusp of Richardson and Dallas. Like literally one exit down is Dallas. I'm 15 minutes from downtown, I'm 15 minutes from Deep Ellum, 15 minutes from Uptown, and I don't have any problems with like commuting or anything like that. With traffic, my commute is maybe like 30 minutes, but without traffic it takes me like 15 to 20 minutes to get to my job. So just something to think about. So I still consider myself living in Dallas because everything I do is in Dallas. When I go shopping, it's Dallas, it's down the street. So I don't even consider myself living in Richardson, but you know, just something to think about when you're moving. So I have been living here 3 years. It's been 3 years, and so far I have liked living here. I like the space that I'm able to get. I do have a roommate, so we split everything down the middle, but I don't have any complaints about my apartment complex in particular. I like the location. I like that the apartments are modern. I have a garage in my apartments. We have all these amenities, and a lot of Dallas apartments are modeled very similar to that. So like I said, I've been in this area for 3 years and I literally have no complaints. I would tell you where I live, but people are weird, so I'm not gonna do that. But I live in the Richardson area, live in a nice garage gated community. Been here for a minute, don't plan on leaving anytime soon. Unless I move to Atlanta. But that's another conversation for another day. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about the pros and the cons of living in Dallas. Let's go ahead and start with the good stuff. Let's get the good stuff out of the way because there's a lot of good things to living in Dallas. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the cost of living. I know a ton of people move to the South, move to Dallas, move to Houston because of the cost of living and because you can get so much space for what you're paying. So right now I looked it up so I can give y'all some facts and just, you know, not opinions. June 2021, the average rent for an apartment in Dallas is $1,338, which is a 7% increase compared to the previous year, but that's not really bad. And I'm sure that's the cost of a one-bedroom apartment in a nice neighborhood. Now, I did notice when I was doing my research that apartments are going up. The rent has went up in my apartments, and I think that's just because a lot of people are moving here. Also because it's more expensive to move in the summer, so that's just something to think about. If you're thinking about moving to Dallas, I would recommend moving in the wintertime, girl, because the summer is ridiculous. But the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is about $1,300, a little bit over 14, and that goes for like the nicer areas. So like uptown, what's another nice area? Maybe Deep Ellum. Probably not downtown because that's like right in the middle of everything. Also, the average apartment size is 848 square feet for a one-bedroom apartment, so you're getting a pretty good amount of space. I feel like most one-bedroom apartments in Dallas have the same layout. You got your open floor plan, you got your island, whether it's attached or not attached is up to you. Maybe hardwood floor, you got your big bathroom, your big ass closet, walk-in closet, cabinet space. That's pretty standard for nice apartments in the area. So the cost of living is pretty good. I don't think I spent a lot of money. I feel like if I lived in like LA or New York or something like that, I would probably be spending like $3,000 for a Matchbox. I ain't got time for that. Texas is pretty good for having a lot of space and getting bang for your buck, in my opinion. Okay, my wine is gonna be gone. I'm getting a little hot, a little tipsy. Next up for the pro list is there is always something to do. Literally, there is so much going on in Dallas. There's something going on every day. There's art museums, you can go to the mall, you can get ice cream, you can eat, you can go kick it, you can go to a lounge, you can go to a club, you can go to a bar. Like, there's literally a million and one things to do, and people are really friendly here. That's another pro that I didn't put on this list. You could go somewhere and sit somewhere by yourself and people will talk to you. Literally, I took myself to breakfast this morning and people were like, why are you sitting by yourself? Like, do you need somebody to talk to? Granted, I enjoy my own company, so I was like, no. But I don't think it's hard to like meet people and make friends, or at least like make acquaintances when you go out. There's so much to do. You can go to the zoo, even, and y'all know Texas is open. Everything is open, but Texas was like the first thing to be open after the pandemic started. Like, they was like, we can't do this because we live in Texas. Like, we like to do stuff. We don't like to sit in the house and be bored. So I will say a good thing about Dallas in particular, you're gonna find you something to do. There's Clyde Warren Park. Like, I don't know, I can't think of all the events that go on right now. There's concerts, strip clubs if you're into that. There's everything. So you should never be bored if you don't want to be bored. If you want to sit in your house and suck and all of that, that's cool too, but like, there's a million and one things to do in Dallas. Another good thing about Dallas is that it is growing rapidly. Well, this could also be a con, but in my opinion, it's kind of good because more people are moving out here. So that also means that more companies are moving out here, so there are more job opportunities out here. There are a lot more young people moving out here. A lot of big companies, like I said, are moving. Toyota's here, JCPenney's is here, but I don't know if they're doing good. Neiman Marcus is here, Fossil is here, Amazon. There's so many different like big companies and even smaller companies that are moving here. So the Metroplex is growing rapidly. Like Frisco, which is the city that's outside Dallas, is growing so fast. It was a much smaller town before, but within like the past 5 years, it's everything out there and it's money out there, honey. So if you want to look at Frisco, you know, I hang you a little money. But Dallas in particular is growing so fast. Like, everybody moving here, which is gonna go into my cons. But if you're looking for a upbeat city, you don't want like small town life, then you know, this is the perfect place to be. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the cons of living in Dallas. I got a couple. I'm gonna take another sip of this because this cons list child, she coming for my neck. Okay, so the first con that came to mind when I was thinking about living in Dallas is the traffic. The traffic sucks. Oh my gosh. Now, it's not like traffic compared to like Houston or LA or probably Atlanta. Child, traffic and toll roads, oh, no. I personally would not recommend a commute to anybody, because unless you want to sit in your car for an hour to have to get to work there and back. So if you get off at 5, you get home at 6:15, you got to be there at 8, you got to leave at like 6:30 to make sure you're not late. I would recommend trying not to commute. So depending on where your job is, I would recommend trying to live closer to that, because y'all, this is the one I tell you, sitting in traffic in Dallas is like, ugh! Like, I literally want to pull my eyeballs out of the socket. it sucks. There's no way of getting around it. You can get you a toll tag, but by the time you get you a toll tag, you spending so much money in tolls that you just like, I don't know. Traffic, it's no way around it. It sucks. Commuting for me sucks. Some people do it. I wouldn't recommend it unless you just enjoy sitting in your car and putting the miles in your car. But the traffic, baby, she be trafficking. Okay, now one thing I do want to talk about, since everybody is moving here, like I said, the prices of everything is going up. Although you do have a good cost of living here in Dallas, more people are moving here, so it's making the prices go up. Like, my apartment has went up at least $50 to $100 in rent in the 3 years that I moved here. So I think the first increase was like $50, which isn't a lot. I think the second increase might have been like $75. But this last increase for my next year for the lease for my apartment, it went up a whole $100. Why am I paying almost $2,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment? No, that is unacceptable. So the more people that move here, the more the cost of living is gonna go up. And like I said, I personally moved in the summer, so my rent is probably a little bit higher than other people's. But a lot of people move in the summer because people have kids, and the summer is just easier. It's hot, but it's easier. I don't know. So just something to think about, that although the cost of living is really, really good, prices are going up because all of y'all keep coming out here. And you know, we don't want all of y'all out here. I ain't gonna lie, because y'all gonna be here for like a year and hate it and then move, and my rent keep going up because you wanted to experiment. But you know, it is what it is. Another comment I have is that everything in Texas is super spread out. So although, like I said, I live in a suburb and I'm not that far from all the like lit things that happen in Dallas, Texas is a huge state. So unlike smaller states like New York and like Jersey and all of that, where you can just get on the subway and go to another state or go to another city in like 30 minutes, Texas is not like that. Dallas in particular is freaking huge. It can take you 30 to 45 minutes to get to the other side of Dallas to do what you gotta do. So if you're coming from like a smaller state or like a smaller town, that's just something to keep in mind, because everything is spread out. Like driving in Dallas, 30 minutes is nothing. And I know 30 minutes to some people is like a long time, but like 30 to 45 minutes is nothing in Dallas. But I do not like the fact that I have to drive so far to get to certain places, because Texas is so big. But that's just, you know, that's just something that comes with the territory, living in a bigger state. So if you're not used to that life, I would say if you're thinking of moving, get ready, because it's a lot, child. Now another con that I have, and this is probably going to be the last con, is that although there are a lot of things to do, you have to find them. You have to find them. Now this could probably be said for a lot of big cities, but I think it can be pretty annoying. You do have to figure that out. Like, you do have to follow the right promoters and follow the right people to know what clubs you go to that fit your scene. You have to visit restaurants to figure out when they're having certain events or certain things, and that can be kind of annoying when you're by yourself. Sometimes you don't always want to have to go out and figure stuff out, which even for me, somebody that's grew up in this metroplex, sometimes me and my friends, we'd be like, what is there to do? Especially after the panorama. Like, girl, we be like, I don't even know where the Sunday fun at. Like, I don't know where the club at. I don't know where the party at. Like, I don't know what to do. You have to find it, and you have to find the right people that are going to like put you in a space that you want to be, if that makes sense. So find the right people that fit your vibe. So like, if you want to go to a particular bar, you're a club person, you have to find the people that are promoting that are showcasing that, because otherwise you just out here all willy-nilly. And that's not fun. Like, don't nobody want that. Don't nobody want to guess if something is going to be lit or not, or you don't want to have to drive somewhere and then, you know, it's not what you thought. So I think, like I said, that's probably a con for a lot of big cities, because if you don't know anybody, it's probably super difficult to figure out like what's popping and what's not. But I know for me, as somebody that lives here, it can be a pretty big con, because it's always something to do, but does it fit my vibe? Do I really want to do all of that? And why do I have to go searching for it? I wanted to just follow my lead. Okay, so moving away from like the pros and cons, I do want to talk about something that's like not controversial, but it's important, because, you know, if you're moving, this is an important aspect of your life, especially if you're a little bit younger and you're single. We're gonna put up the wine glass because we finna talk about dating. Honey, this should have went on my cons list, but I wanted to put dating by itself. Dating in Dallas is trash. Okay, in my personal experience, dating in Dallas has been trash. And I know I'm a little biased because I was in a long-term relationship or whatever, but the dating scene especially after the panorama. The Panera bread, the panini breads. Child, these men trash. Like, Dallas men, in comparison to other places I've been, like Houston or Atlanta, they don't want to spend money to talk to you. And I know I might sound like a little, that might sound bad, that might sound a little gold diggerish, but when I go out, it would be nice for a man to buy me a drink, you know, and we sit here and talk. Or like, if they do buy a drink, they automatically think that you're gonna go home and have sex with them. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. Thanks for the drink. Have a good day. But the men, not all the men are trash. Obviously, it just can be hard to find them, because if you're going out to bars and clubs and like lounges and stuff, it's like 9 times out of 10 your husband is probably not there. So then you got to get on dating apps and all of that. And again, the men on the dating apps, a lot of times all they want to do is like hook up and have sex. So it can be pretty hard to find your significant other out in Dallas. I know some people have done it. I have friends that did it after college. Shout out to them. How they did it, it was God. But you do have to be very careful where you're dating out here, because people are crazy. People are crazy everywhere. But these Dallas men, these little trappers and these little rappers, they're a little crazy. So for me, dating has been very difficult. All of the men that I met while I was dating don't live in Dallas. I don't know if that has something to do with me and the type of men that I like, but it can be very, very hard to find men out here. I do want to know that the men with stature, a lot of time, they aren't really looking for much of a relationship. Now, I will say that when you think about Dallas men, the men here do want to settle down a lot more than in other areas that I've been in, other areas that I've visited, because Dallas is very family oriented. You know, it's just the vibe of Dallas. But overall, if I had to give it a 1 out of 10 dating in Dallas, I'd give it a solid 6.5. Not even a 7, 6.5. So you just have to, but you do have to put yourself out there, and that's something that I need to work on when it comes to dating, because ooh, child, empty. We gonna take another sip. I don't think my man is in Dallas. Okay, so moving away from dating and bashing Dallas men, let's talk about the culture in Dallas. So the culture in Dallas is a very, I want to say it's very mixed. So if you're looking for like the hip hop, R&B, not even hip hop, R&B, if you're looking for the black scene, it can be very hard to find in Dallas, because it's mixed in with very much of Latina and Hispanic culture. I don't know where that little accent came from. But it's mixed in very much with Hispanic culture, which is not a bad thing. It just depends on what your vibe is. There's a lot of white culture here, obviously, because we are in Dallas. SMU is here. A lot of old white money is here. So white culture is embedded. But Dallas is starting to become a little bit more liberal, which is a really, really good thing. But like I said, the culture, when you go to other places like Houston and Atlanta, and I know I keep using those as examples, but they are very similar to Dallas. The black culture is not embedded in the city, if that makes sense. You have to go out and find black culture, find black experiences, because it's there. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of great black people here. There are a lot of great people of other races, but if you are specifically looking for black culture and that black experience, you're not gonna get it in the part of Dallas that you probably want to stay in. Because I know y'all that are watching this video probably want to stay in like downtown, uptown, Deep Ellum, all of that. You ain't trying to go to Oak Cliff. Now you can find the black culture in Oak Cliff. You can find it there. But for people my age, like, I know y'all looking for more of a party, like nightlife scene, and the black culture is not necessarily embedded in the city. You do have to look for it. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because once you find it, then you find all the black people and y'all be like a unit. Y'all be moving together, but you do be seeing the same people out. But just something to think about if you're worried about Dallas culture, what it's like. A lot of black women and black men watch my channel, so I know black culture is big, because I'm real big on black culture, because I am black. I want that experience in where I'm living. So just know that the culture is very, very much mixed. All right, so I feel like I touched on a lot of stuff, but the last thing that I want to touch on, I got a lot of questions about Dallas versus Houston, and I feel like I personally can't speak to it a ton. I can only tell you what some of my friends have told me, because I asked them before I did this video. And I know that a lot of people say that Houston is a lot more fast-paced. Houston has a lot more of that black culture embedded in the city, like I said, but Houston is also very much more populated than Dallas. Oh, and the weather. When you compare the weather to Dallas compared to Houston is a lot more drier. We have tornadoes, we had that weird snowstorm thing. It's weird. And it's just a lot drier, whereas Houston is a lot more moist. They have hurricanes, they're closer to the Gulf, yada yada yada. It's more water. You're gonna switch your hair out and your makeup off when you go to Houston. Dallas, you should be good as long as you got a matte set spray because it's hot. Personally, for me, Houston and Dallas are two different things. I don't think one city is greater than the other. Houston natives and Dallas natives will tell you different, but for me, I think it just depends on the vibe that you want to go for. Like I said, Dallas is a little bit slower. People are moving here, so it's picking up, and Houston is a lot more fast-paced, and the nightlife is just a little bit more than Dallas. But if you are interested in an in-depth Houston video, I know that a ton of influencers have done like Dallas versus Houston videos. Cinderella OG has a video about it. If you're curious about that, I'll link her video down below. But for me, I couldn't pick one or the other. I personally would never move to Houston because that's just not my vibe. I don't do rain. It's fun to visit, but I couldn't live there. But it's totally up to you and what you're feeling. So overall, my final thoughts about living in Dallas are, if you are interested in moving here, I would say do it. Now, I probably shouldn't do this because a lot of people are moving to Dallas, like I said, but if you are thinking about moving to Dallas, I think that it is perfect for young adults. Like, I think it's a perfect scene for us. I think it's very good to like start a family if there's something that you're interested in. Like, you could turn up, meet your man, get married, get you a house, and you ain't gotta move. And for me personally, I like the speed of Dallas. It's not too fast, but it's not too slow. There's literally, like I said, always something to do. I'm never bored. If I want to go out, I can. And the southern hospitality in Dallas is just unmatched. People here are not rude. We have some rude people, yeah, whatever, but people will open your door for you. Random strangers will talk to you, be nice to you, help you. You could be stuck on the side of the freeway, somebody will pull over and help you. And I think it's a good place to start your career. It's a good place to go to school. There's a whole bunch of colleges out here. There's UNT, there's UTA, there's UTD. Like, there's something for everybody. And I think that Dallas's vibe fits with so many different people. That's why, you know, everybody moving here, and it's cheap. Well, not cheap, it's affordable. My recommendations on if you're thinking about moving to Dallas, just do it, girl. Like Nike, just do it. But if you have any other questions about anything that's going on in Dallas, make sure that you leave them in the comments below. I really want these Thirsty Thursdays to be girl chats, chit chats, talking, you know. I really want it to be a conversation, so make sure that you leave me a comment down below, and make sure that you connect with me on Instagram, because I ask you guys everything on Instagram. I need to start asking on YouTube too, but I literally ask y'all everything on Instagram because I'm making this content for y'all. So if you have any Thirsty Thursday topics that you want me to talk about, which we're gonna get to juicy ones, we're gonna have some guests. Stay tuned. We're gonna talk about a whole bunch of different stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next one. Let's cheers to all of y'all that's gonna be moving to Dallas after watching my video. Let me take a little sip. I'm probably gonna finish this bottle tonight, but I love y'all so much, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye.